Bonjour, mon cœur. It's your archon of wisdom. The birds are paid actors because the weather is nice again. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Hi. Today, on this lovely Sunday, we are going to have a very casual little meet and greet. We're going to have a little casual chit-chat, a little kiki about a movie that I really like that's close to my heart. And that is all we're going to talk about today, guys. No real news, no real drama, nothing like that. Not to say that there's not stuff we could be talking about. Shout out to Hassan Piker. He just put out his documentary about Cuba. So go ahead, you guys want some good recommendations from your Archon, go and check that out. I'm going to check that out tonight myself. But I am having a relapse and I am really sick. So we are going to take it easy today. Alrighty, okay. Now, the movie we're going to talk about is called Pillion. And that is how you pronounce it. It is a French word, guys. Okay. People on the internet and everywhere in the medias of socials mispronounce the name incredibly. If I were to say it in just English phonetics, I call it pylon. Again, it's not an English word though. It's a French word. A French word which means motorcycle seat. So, right off the bat, first of all, let's talk about the media presence before the movie came out. So the movie has Alexander Skarsgård in it. He's the lead actor, alongside oh my goodness, he's such a lovely actor as well. He played Harry Potter's cousin. But he's a little Twinkie boy now. A little twink. Hey, shout out Twink. He's so cute. Actually, he's a really, really cute twink. And it follows his character, the main character, Colin, on this journey exploring his homosexuality, and discovering the BDSM community. Now, interesting enough, beforehand, all the promotion and media for the movie was very, not explicitly saying what the movie was about. There's a lot of stuff around Alexander Skarsgård showing up to these media events and red carpets dressed up in very BDSM core outfits, which I love, by the way. Love that man and love his fashion sense. That is a wonderful man. Oh, hi, Bluebird. A confirmation, Bluebird. So, it goes on this journey between Colin and Alexander Skarsgård's character, where Alexander Skarsgård plays the dom, and Colin is the sub, obviously. And it goes through the dynamics of this situation and exploring this situation and everything like that. I think it's a really impactful, powerful movie. That's why I'm talking about it. Promise I'm not yapping because no reason. I do have a reason, but... So the promotion was a lot of Alexander Skarsgård wearing these phenomenal, beautiful outfits that were very BDSM reminiscent, very alternative culture, very big bear gay homosexual, very trade. And not a lot was said about the movie, but I had a feeling it had something to do with BDSM because I'm not stupid. I have my own explorations with the community. If you are lay homosexual, it's very hard to kind of get away from aspects of the community because they're gonna be there. Oh, hi, B. No, please. Please move on, B. Hold on. So, as I was saying, I'm sorry, the bee came to say hi. The bees come, they're looking for my flowers that I haven't planted yet in my garden, but, I have my own experience with the BDSM community. Like I said, if you're queer, on the queer spectrum, anywhere, it's kind of hard to get away from it. It's just something that naturally occurs. So Pillion is interesting because it deals with a specific niche community. It does, like, it is BDSM, right? But it's a very specific, like, it's about gay bikers specifically, you know what I mean? So that's kind of its own niche community, you know, in and of itself. And there's niche communities in the BDSM community, of course, because not everybody likes the same stuff. But regardless, I find, first of all, the interviews now that are coming out after the movie has been shown, I think it's only being shown overseas right now, but if you have a VPN or you have like Sundance Film app or on your Roku TV, or like you are me and you pirate movies, allegedly in Minecraft, then you can get access to it. It is very graphic, okay? It's made for the European film audience. It's not made for us. So it is very graphic. Do not be shocked. Okay? I was shocked, and I was already expecting something crazy. So it was a lot. It wasn't a lot for me, like, in that sense. But there were a lot of moments where I was, like, on the edge of my seat. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, like that. I enjoyed it now. Now, regardless of whether I enjoy it, I have seen it being kind of review bombed by the greater community. And I find that really interesting because, now, I'm going to get into some spoilers here, just a little bit, but the movie is not a happy movie, okay? The dynamic and relationship between the main characters is very toxic and weird at times, and it's also very loving and beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's a huge it's seated in toxic behavior, right? And that is purposeful, in my opinion. Now, the reason why I disagree with it being bombed, even because of that reason, right? And because at the end it's not happy, you know, the two main characters don't end up together. It's not that kind of movie, but the reason why people are disliking it so much is because the argument that a lot of the community has is that it's a bad representation of the community. But in my opinion, I think that's very unfair. I think that we need to be a little bit more realistic about things, and we need to be understanding that the majority of people who get into the community do not get into the community in the proper way. They are not led or guided or treated well. A lot of the community, because the community deals with power dynamics inherently, there are going to be people who inherently will take advantage of that. So not everyone in the community is a good person. Not that I'm saying the main characters aren't good people, right? But the representation of toxicity itself is important. And the representation of how that differs in the niche community itself, as well as between the two people, is very, very important. Okay? Everyone draws their lines differently, especially with something as complex as this. So every line is drawn completely different. Everyone is into different stuff. Everyone's hard limits are not the same. And yes, we do adhere by the rule that it needs to be consensual, safe, and sane, but not everybody does. And that is a broader discussion, right? But it's still important, and it's still representation, in my opinion. I think it's still important to have, because we have to know why these things are not okay. we have to explore why the relationship between Cullen and his daddy Dom didn't work out. We have to know, especially because the story for Cullen is one of coming into his sexuality fully and understanding his homosexuality and the things that he wants in a relationship. And a lot of times, for a lot of people, especially in the queer community and especially amongst women, we have to be hurt in order to figure out what we like and what we dislike. And that's not, I say that not out of necessity, like it's not a necessity, but it's something that happens so often is what I'm saying. It's something that happens very, very frequently to most people. And to deny that is to deny reality. And that's why I feel like it's not fair to just say, like, oh, the whole BDSM community is one big happy family and we all eat Sunday brunch together after we screw. Like, that's not reality. Okay, yes, would I love to have that as reality? Absolutely. And are there communities out there like that? Yeah, and are there aspects of that community feeling in this movie? Yes, there are, in my opinion, especially between Cullen and the other sub that he befriends and discusses boundaries with. There's a huge aspect of community there, and part of that exploration is the community aspect and not having your shit together and not knowing what your boundaries are and not knowing what your hard no's are and having to discover that. And it's not always, oops, I just discovered it. No, sometimes it's, I discovered it because I went through something traumatic, because I had a dom who didn't know how to take care of a sub. And I think that is a huge, huge aspect here. I think that the hesitancy between Cullen and Alexander Skarsgård's character is because Alexander Skarsgård's character already knows he doesn't know how to take care of a sub. He already knows, that his boundaries and his limits are not going to be healthy in a full-time situation. He already knows that, and it's him compromising as much as it is Cullen compromising too. It's both of them compromising and figuring out what needs to happen. It's just as much about Cullen discovering his hard boundaries as it is about Alexander Skarsgård's character discovering what is the proper way to take care of your sub. It is both people's learning experience. Even though Alexander Skarsgård's character is supposed to be this big daddy dom who knows everything and has all this community experience, he is also learning. That's a part of this community as much as anything else is. Now again, going back to it being graphic, again, it's not made for an American audience. It's made for a European audience, and their rules fly different, and what they're used to is different. It is getting an American release. I think it's getting an American release starting Monday. So this Monday, I believe, is when it starts. It might be the week after, but it's getting an American release. It's going to be heavily, 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 heavily censored. But it's getting an R rating still. So we'll see how censored it really is. But I know that people are worried about the censorship and stuff, and it's not like I'm not worried about it. I think that the story stands on its own without the what's the word I'm looking for? The story stands on its own with the sex scenes or not, honestly. I think it's more impactful, and you get a better understanding if you're not in the community and you're also not homosexual. Then the sex scenes do give you a lot more context. But I think it is still going to be a phenomenal movie without all that as well. So I'm not too worried. I just think it's gonna be one of those movies that has a cult following, a niche cult following, and because it's not a movie for everyone. It's not a movie for everyone to understand, and the movie makes no attempt to make it palatable for anyone to understand either, because it expresses that in the interactions between Cullen and his parents not understanding the relationship, and viewing it as very inherently toxic as well, whether it's for the right reasons or not, but I think the movie makes no attempt to hide that, so go watch Pillion, go see it. It's got Alexander Skarsgård in it. He's beautiful. Of course, we know we love Alexander on this channel. We love all the Skarsgårds, but go see his abs and his sexy little grunts. Ugh. I love you very much. Have a wonderful Sunday, guys. Drink your water. Happy birthday to our cat mascot of this channel, Gigi. He's 3 years old today, guys. That's all I have for you today. Drink your water, be kind to animals, love your friends and your family, and that's it. Bye. Mwah.